Hello, fellow Star Wars fans. My name is Starrapter, and I'm so happy you could stop by the channel to see what I have to say about some pretty cool Star Wars comics that came out this week. We have 3 Marvel comics to talk about. First one, we're jumping way back in the past, about 350 years preceding the Phantom Menace to be exact, and that is the High Republic issue number 5. This is the halfway point for this 10-issue series that's set during Phase 2 Quest of the Jedi of the High Republic. In this story, we are picking up right from this big cliffhanger. Last we left off, we have the Path of the Open Hand on Jedha inciting a riot because the Herald, who is the right-hand man of the leader of the Path of the Hand, who is the mother, he incites this big chaos, and the Sorcerers of Tun, the Disciples of the Wills, the Jedi, they're all suddenly feeling a little bit uneasy as the Leveler, aka a nameless creature, has infiltrated this crowd, and we're seeing those effects of a creature that first appeared in Phase 1 of the High Republic, causing so much fear for the Jedi. So basically this issue is just seeing the different Jedi, the Vildar, the different Force users, just seeing like their chaos and their confusion and their fear, which we've seen a lot from like Loading Greatstorm and the other characters in Phase 1 of the High Republic, so you know the deal there. We also get some perspective on a storyline with Tay Sarek, who has been wrongly accused and put in prison in the Temple of Qi'ra, and he's got some fortune on his side, some luck, if you will, because now you have these marauder people breaking into the temple, you know, demanding to get this rod device, and I believe they're working for the Path of the Open Hand. My first guess was, oh, are these the brothers of the Ninth Door, who have been known to be dark side users? Maybe they're working with the Path of the Open Hand. But anyway, that is interesting there. We also get this ending part where you have something going on outside the walls of the temple of the Jedha, city of Jedha, and that is the giant Jedi statue has fallen. You have these riders; they're taking their years of anger out on the Jedi by just having this moment where they can really just tear into the soul of the Jedi by taking down this very prestigious, very venerated statue of a Jedi. And that's where we leave off. So yes, that's the same statue you'll see in Rogue One as they're flying over Jedha. There's that statue of a Jedi. That's the one that we see fall down. So we get the origin story, the backstory for this fallen Jedi statue. So pretty cool stuff there. I will say the High Republic, this series, this phase, whatever, has not been exciting me as much as Phase 1. We had such memorable characters that I love seeing, like Skier, or the different characters that I enjoyed seeing a lot more than Vildar Mac and Maddie. Like, I feel like there's not as much personality behind those characters, not as much development as I would like to see from a lot of the things in Phase 1. And the story just feels like it's just kind of skating by sometimes. There's not as much of a through line as I was really hoping for. So, you know, we're halfway through, so I figured I'd give my overall thoughts. But right now I'm kind of like lukewarm on the comics, at least for Phase 2. And Phase 2 in general has been not as exciting for me. But that's a video for another time, perhaps. So getting into more stories. By the way, this one was written by Kevin Scott with artwork by Andrea Ricardo. She usually does the covers for Star Wars, so it's nice seeing her do some interior artwork. And this was also called Fallen Down, part of Balance of the Force. So there you go. Things in reverse, but I saved it in the end. We're getting into the next one here. We're delving back into the original trilogy timeline right after the events of Empire Strikes Back, and that is Darth Vader issue number 31, The Tamboor Gambit, written, of course, by Greg Pak, with artwork by Imbrahim Roberson, who I think is brand new to writing, or I should say, with artwork, he's brand new. Those person's brand new with Star Wars, I believe. So this opens up with flashbacks, and I really just have gotten tired of them, quite frankly, because they've been peppered all throughout this Darth Vader series. I feel like sometimes they're just wasting some of the pages that the very, you don't get many pages in these single issue comics, and I feel like they're taking up a lot of real estate when we can get some really brand new exciting stuff. Because I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like we've even seen some of the same scenes reprinted in some of these issues before. I get it. It's a whole kind of scheme device to get into the head of Vader and really see how he's going to be eventually changing to be redeemed and save Luke in the end, a couple months or whatever it is from now when you get into Return of the Jedi. But I digress. So this issue really comes down to it where Vader has forced a pact between him and the Handmaidens, who had wanted to go and save Sabe, who they know is now working for Darth Vader. But Sabe is now with the grandson of Jul Tamboor, that's Jul Tamboor, and he has this big vendetta against Vader. He has put together an entire droid army under the radar from the Empire, and now he has sent this army out against Vader. So Vader tests first all the Handmaidens. He force pushes them out of this ship, has them try to prove themselves to him. He wants to see what their attack combat prowess is, and I really enjoyed seeing them taking out a lot of B-1s. You see even B-1s on a Republic gunship, which is very interesting there. Then we see Vader basically using them to buy time to actually infiltrate the ship that Jul Tamboor is on, and of course Jul Tamboor is guarded by that big ball droid. It's basically a giant BB-8 droid, and we see Vader going against that thing and gets kind of put down under, but it's up to the handmaids come in and kind of sort of save him a little bit, but then Jul Tamboor gets away. The end of this issue has Sabe making a choice. Is she going to save her friends that are now being force-choked by Vader, or is she going to submit to Vader and let him do what he will, what he wants, what he wills with the Handmaidens? So very interesting there. Same thing as I said with the High Republic Phase 2 stories just a moment ago. I am not really happy with the direction of the Darth Vader series is going. I feel truly like it is treading ground right now. We're making very incremental leaps in the story every month or every 2 months whenever it comes out. And I feel like it's just sort of waiting for Hidden Empire to end, which is interesting as well, because Darth Vader's trajectory in this moment of time is very strange, because we have him in 3 different places all at the relatively same time. It's like you see the Bounty Hunters issues, you see Vader's trying to kill Baylor Valance now, but then you see this one and he's trying to get rid of this separatist kind of reclamation thing going on, and then you see him, as we'll talk about, in Hidden Empire, and he's dealing with the Crimson Dawn pretty threateningly. So I don't know what's going on with Vader, but he is all over the place. I would like to know the exact timeline, because it's never been this muddied before. But finally, we'll get into the final issue for this week, and it's my favorite out of the 3. And we've been waiting a while for this one. We didn't get one last month, but we have Hidden Empire issue number 3 out of 5. This one, of course, is written by Charles Soule with Steve Cummings. This one's called Part 3. I am Chanath Cha. So last we left off, Vader has tracked down the characters of the Archivist and Kofan Ferris, who are trying to bring back Lord Momin from the dead. He has been trapped, his soul, inside this Fermata cage, and it's up to them to use this Ascendant tech. But the thing is, when they tried using it for a second time, it has given away their location. Vader has showed up, and then it's up to Chanath Cha and her Orphans crew to basically protect them, and that's where we left off in the last issue. So this issue is like basically one big giant battle, which is pretty cool, because you have the Orphans, which consist of Seer, who is a technician with a flamethrower. Then you have Chanath Cha, who we've seen was introduced in the Lando miniseries back in the day. She's got like shield technology, really good gunslinger. You have Amara Vex, who is a character that is going to be in an upcoming Star Wars Hunters game, if that ever comes out. And she has a visor. She specializes in like heavy demolition type of missiles and stuff like that, heavy weaponry. And you also have the character of Lady Bright, who is a droid that is very sentient and has her way with electricity, as you can see. So yeah, those 4 are just going at it against Vader at once, and they're giving Vader a run for his money, because Lady Bright is able to kind of zap him enough where he has to kind of take a breath, and then you have Chanath Cha that puts this acid on him, and he has to go into water and wash it off. And in the meantime, they're having a discussion between the Orphans and the characters of the Archivist and Kofan Ferris. They need to retrieve the Fermata cage before they get out of there. Qi'ra's mission for them is the Orphans have to exfiltrate Archivist and Kofan Ferris. Archivist is like, we can't leave without Fermata cage, so we have them trying to get out of there. Vader just completely wrecks shop. We wanted to see Vader and Scarif on Rogue One. You remember that was in the rumors. Vader was going to be on the beach and just taking out the Rogue One crew. I think this is like Lucasfilm saying like, hey, we didn't get that in the movie, but Charles Soule, if you want to put Vader on a beach and just seeing him destroy people, do that, because we get to see that in this issue, and it's pretty spectacular. I mean, we see Seer getting force pushed to the point of oblivion. You're up against a wall. I'm pretty sure she's dead. Then we see a Marvex trying to take out Vader from up top in that dropship. He forces her down. She's basically paralyzed, it looks like. And of course, you see a big thing, and it's been happening in some Star Wars comics. We've seen it in Dr. After last week, a big death of a character. We see a death of Chanath. And I was like, whoa, okay, because this issue is all surrounding her. She has had a vendetta against Vader since a very young child, between her mother getting killed by him, her father getting killed by him. She joins the Empire as like the Emperor's assassin, as we see in Lando Calrissian's miniseries or whatever she was in that regard, to try to get close enough to Vader to kill him. And he doesn't even acknowledge her that she exists. Like, she tells this big monologue, and he's just like, yeah, who are you? Basically, Vader's killed so many people at this point. He doesn't know anything about who he's killed. He's just killed a lot of people. So it was really cool kind of getting her backstory. Seeing her in this issue she was a very strong character. Could I have seen more of her? Maybe. But it is cool to see the permanence in Star Wars that we don't get from a lot of superhero Marvel comics or whatever, where like a person is dead in the comics, they're probably not coming back to life. There's always alternatives, right? Look at the Book of Boba Fett, look at the Rise of Skywalker. So I guess in Darth Maul, right? There's a lot of people that come back, but I think she's dead. But yeah, it was really cool seeing the combat abilities of all the different orphans, seeing the bubble that Chanath had. It's got to be something from Star Wars Battlefront 2. But it's really cool just seeing the impending doom of Vader as he was trying to submerge himself, as he was submerged into water. You're seeing the bubbles get closer and closer, and they're trying to figure out what their plan was. Oh yeah, and then we have the character of Archivist killing Lady Bright, because Lady Bright was going to go back and try to save Chanath, and well, she gets annihilated because Archivist is like, this mission is too important for us to risk our lives going back there with Vader fighting. So she's able to take that ship out of there. And then Qi'ra's just basically talking to the character that's the orphan. I forget her name right now. The one that's the heir of the Mourner's Wail and the Unbroken clan. And basically she's saying, oh yeah, everybody's a pawn in my plan. Everybody is a pawn in my plan, and that's where this issue leaves off. What'd you guys think of these issues of Star Wars comics? Let me know in the comment section down below. For more on Star Wars, I talk about it regularly on the channel, so it'd be much appreciated. If you aren't already, please subscribe to the channel, hit that bell icon to be notified of videos in the future. That's going to do it for me, Starrapter. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always.
Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.